Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Donald Trump, your president, is on a warpath with Democrat led cities. He's sending the military in, he's sending ICE in to restore order and run off the illegals. Check it out.
Surveillance video from a neighbor's home captured the moment a federal chase spilled into the streets of Chicago's East Side neighborhood, ending in a crash near 105th Street and Avenue N late Tuesday morning. What started as a pursuit quickly escalated into a tense and emotional scene.
I'm not going to sit here and not do nothing about it.
Within minutes, Skycam 9 was overhead, showing a large crowd surrounding federal agents, shouting questions, recording with their phones, and demanding answers about what had happened. Video from the Citizen app also shows a tense standoff between federal agents and community members. According to CPD, officers and supervisors responded to the area just after 11 a.m. when they realized federal authorities were involved. Police say they attempted to de-escalate tensions, but objects were thrown at the agents, prompting the deployment of tear gas.
As the tear gases were thrown toward the community members, we all ran, and they had attacked two people that I know because they were the closest near them. So they attacked them and put them into custody.
Destiny, who requested to keep our identity hidden, says the people who were detained are U.S. citizens ages 16 and 19 and that they did not throw anything.
I got a phone call from work saying that they took my son. He's only 16.
Juanita Garnica, visibly shaken, saying through tears that she had been at work when she got the news that Border Patrol agents had taken her son.
They just told me, Juanita, you have an emergency. ICE took your son. They beat him up, they body slammed him, and they took your son.
City officials and immigration attorneys arrived in the aftermath of the incident and say the response by federal agents was excessive.
The judges made it very clear last week that this kind of conduct is unacceptable.
There's absolutely no reason to have this kind of chaos happening in our communities, putting people at risk, putting people in harm's way.
According to DHS, agents chased the vehicle and used a pit maneuver to stop it. They say two people inside tried to run but were eventually caught and taken into custody. DHS says in part, quote, "This incident is not isolated and reflects a growing and dangerous trend of illegal aliens violently resisting arrest and agitators and criminals ramming cars into our law enforcement officers."
So here's what I'm picking up, fam. It appears to me that everything was going fine until ICE shows up and starts agitating people. Seem like they're the agitating, violent ones. I mean, just to me, I mean, I could be wrong. I get that they have a job to do, but the way that they're going about doing that job, they're indiscriminately attacking people, indiscriminately detaining people, putting little children in cuffs, butt naked. Yeah. They are doing way too much. And here's the thing, fam. A lot of them have their faces covered because many of them actually belong in either the communities that they're working in, they actually live in those communities, or they live in similar communities where they know if those people knew what they were up to, it would be a problem. Imagine living amongst the enemy like that, fam. Imagine that you have, let's say you have an immigrant family, and let's say that the elder in the family is not fully documented. He doesn't have his documents, so he's there illegally, right? But he's been here 40 years, he's been here 40 years. He's, paid taxes for 40 years, right? Raised his children right here in the U.S., good old U.S. of A, for 40 years. And he didn't take the legal clear path to citizenship. So they came for him. They're coming for him at some point. And you have a next door neighbor who knows this, but he's getting up and he's going to the other neighborhoods or the neighborhood across town or even in a different state to ride on people who are in the exact same position that you are, and you think that he's not going to tell the authorities where you are? He's not going to tell the authorities that y'all are harboring an illegal immigrant? I almost said illegal alien. Boy, it's something how the mind works, man. I keep hearing illegal alien, and I just refuse to call a human being an alien. But just to be clear, fam, I'm all for border control. I'm all for border control. It's impossible for us to be able to know what resources that we have available and have enough to go around if we don't even know who in this country. It's impossible, for people who have been here all of their life and who did it the right way, who was born in this country, who cannot get any kind of help, but yet they allow illegal immigrants to come over here and they give them a stipend for rent. They get food. They get top-notch 5-star hotels in some cases, rent for other things, clothing vouchers and all kinds of stuff, right? So I'm not cool with that. And I'm gonna be straight up with it, fam. I'm gonna call a striker striking the ball a ball. I'm not cool with that. But I'm also not cool with how they're going about doing their business. I'm not cool with that at all, man. The way that they are just indiscriminately riding on people. People say that they went into that projects in Chicago and just hit every single door. They went into every single door in the project, snatching up kids, putting them in zip ties, butt naked, snatching up black folks who've been here their entire life, snatching up other people. They're snatching up Venezuelan people or whatever, but they were snatching up illegal people and legal people, and they were treating them all the same. They were handling them all the same. Look, fam, if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're illegal, if you're here illegally, and they get a little rough with you, man, hey, man, we might be like, you know what, man? Hey, man, that's sad, man, but that's the cost of being here illegally. But to put everybody in one pot and treat every single person like that ain't cool. So what's happening is, it's really not about trying to do the right thing. It's not about, the right path, the citizenship and all that stuff. This is one big old pissing contest. This is a bunch of jockeying. This is all about consolidating power. Show that we can do this. We can come in and we can run the streets. We got more muscle than all the gangs and all of the people. And it's not just about gangs either, fam, because keep this in mind. For any of y'all that's thinking that they're only out there trying to get rid of the illegal aliens or the illegal immigrants and the gang members, keep this in mind. The gang members ain't stupid enough to go out there and get involved in gang activity while the military is on their street. They're not that stupid. They're going to wait till this blow over, because it's got to blow over. They cannot possibly keep all of those resources on the ground forever, indefinitely. They can't do that. So what they're doing right now, what they're waging is a fear trauma campaign. This is a fear trauma campaign. They're traumatizing people who already live in traumatizing conditions. They're trying to instill fear in people, many people who already live in fear because of the surroundings that they have. They're already living in fear. And it's not that they just fear the people in the streets or gang members. They also fear the police. And now you got big bad Johnny Law coming in with his military gear on, and they dropping tear gas and smoke, you know, and they pushing people around, slamming people to the ground, beating up people, just bulldozing. They're bulldozing U.S. citizens, fam. This is not a war in the Middle East somewhere. They're doing this to U.S. citizens. They're doing this to tax-paying U.S. citizens. So these communities are coming under threat, and they're living in constant anxiety. So people are avoiding work, school, doctor's appointments. They're not leaving home. They won't go to work because they're afraid of being stopped. Many people, most people, are not even illegal. They just don't want the drama. They don't want to be stopped. And I would advise any of you out there, if you don't have to leave your house, do not leave your house. If you can figure out a way to stay off the streets, stay off the streets, because right now it's like they're trying to create martial law. They're trying to bulldoze everybody's rights. So that's why you have to know your rights and educate your children how to act when ICE shows up. And you got to know how to act when ICE shows up or when the military shows up on your block. You got the immigrant workers in warehouses that are reporting they're afraid every shift. They're afraid because there's a looming threat that ICE is going to pull up. And again, fam, they're not just detaining illegal immigrants. They're detaining legal immigrants. They're putting legal immigrants in the system also. And when you start talking about them, the military pulling up to make sure they let the gangsters know who's boss, the repeat offenders, those people are already in the system. They already have those people. If they got a warrant for those people, they already know how to find those people. They do not have to broad stroke this power trip. They don't have to do that. They can be direct, but they won't do it because they want to instill fear. Donald Trump thing right now is that he's having fun, like directing, who gets hit, who gets this, who gets, yeah, that's what's going on. He want to let everybody know that he's the big bad bully on the block. And he's weaponizing the military. At what point do those in the military say, I'm not doing that? This ain't cool. At what point does those in ICE say, I'm not doing that? This ain't cool. Every great country that failed, they failed because of their arrogance. Remember, pride comes before fall. Pride comes before the fall. No more talk.